Do you follow the same routine every day? What is your favourite part of the day? Has your routine changed much since you were a child? In this video, we're going to be looking at questions for the IELTS speaking test part 1 to do with routine. As you know from my previous videos, you get 3 sets of questions of 4 questions each. A question that comes up often in these sets is the question of routine. We're first going to be talking about how to use the present simple when talking about routines. I'm also going to teach you some adverbs of frequency to talk about how often you do the things in your routine. Then we're going to look at some vocabulary, then the common questions, and then I'm going to give you some sample answers at the very end for all the questions that could come up on the topic of your routine. Remember, don't memorize the answers in this video, just use them as a guide or as a way to practice for your IELTS. When you hear the questions, answer them in the comments and I might be able to give you some feedback. Okay, let's start with adverbs of frequency. The first adverb of frequency we're going to look at is something you can use when you're talking about something you do in most cases. The adverb is generally. For example, I generally go to bed at 11 p.m. I generally order a takeaway on weekends. A synonym for generally is usually. It also means under normal circumstances. I usually brush my teeth, but sometimes I forget. I usually go to the gym in the morning. Hardly ever is another way to say rarely, which means you don't do it very often. Hardly ever. I hardly ever cook at home because I am too busy at work. I used to go out a lot, but now I hardly ever go clubbing. Never means on no occasions ever. I never drink coffee after 1 p.m. I am never late for work because I am an early bird. We're going to be looking at early bird later. Always is the opposite of never. It means you do it on all occasions. I always lock my door on the way out of my house. I always go to bed at 1 a.m. I'm a bit of a night owl. Again, we'll be looking at night owl later. Sometimes means not always, but on occasion. I sometimes wear a tie, but I don't have to. I sometimes have a cup of tea with breakfast. Sometimes I have to stay late at work. These are the adverbs of frequency. They're very useful to use when you're talking about your routine in the IELTS speaking task part 1. Let's look at some more topic-specific vocabulary. As I mentioned earlier, an early bird. An early bird is someone who wakes up or arrives early or before the time you're meant to be there. To use this in a sentence, you could say, I wake up at 6 a.m. even on weekends. I'm a real early bird. I sometimes eat dinner at 5 p.m. as the restaurant does an early bird special. The opposite of early bird is night owl, and this is someone who is wakeful at night, who has more energy at night. I'm a bit of a night owl. I don't usually go to bed until 2 a.m. And as you can see, we're mixing in the adverbs of frequency now, usually. I am most productive when it's dark. I'm a real night owl. You'll probably all have heard this word, but it's good when talking about routines because everybody does it. The word is procrastinate, which means where you delay or put off an action you know you're meant to be doing. I try to work on my YouTube channel in the evening, but I usually procrastinate. I sometimes procrastinate at work when I'm bored. Flexibility is another good word when you're talking about your schedule or your routine. Flexibility means you can modify it or change it easily. For example, I like a little flexibility in my routines, especially at weekends. I have some flexibility with the time I go to bed. Sometimes it's 8 p.m, sometimes it's midnight. Set in my ways. This is usually about someone who doesn't like to change their routine. So you can say something along the lines of, I'm set in my ways. I don't like changes to my routine. As I get older, I'm getting more set in my ways. Schedule is another good word when talking about the routine in the IELTS speaking task part 1. It basically means your plan for carrying out an action. My schedule is pretty busy most days at school. I like to make a schedule and I usually stick to it. Another good one for the routine question is during, which means throughout the course. For example, during the weekend, I like to exercise and hang out with friends. I always put my phone away during dinner. And you should. I'm now going to show you some of the common IELTS speaking test part 1 questions in the set of routines. They're quite predictable and they're very similar to the other questions. Here they are. Do you follow the same routine every day? What is your morning routine? Do you ever change your routine? What are the benefits of having a routine? What time of the day do you like best? How has your routine changed since you were a child? Now we're going to look at some sample answers for each of these questions. We're going to look at a few sample answers for each one so you can see the rhythm of how you should be answering the IELTS Part 1 speaking questions. I hope you're enjoying this video, and if you are and you are getting value from it, please like the video and subscribe, or make a comment. Maybe answer one of the questions in the comments. The more likes and subscribes I get, the more people that watch my video, and the more videos I can make, and more people I can help pass the IELTS exam. Thank you for watching. Let's get on with some sample answers. Do you follow the same routines every day? Yes, pretty much, especially during the week, because I must be at work at the same time every day. I always wake up at 6 AM, get ready, and I'm usually out of the door by 7 AM. Yes, I am more productive when I have a schedule that is the same every day. However, you might not have the same routine, so you can answer in the negative. Not really. When I was in high school I did, because I had to be at school every day and I always followed the school schedule. Not really. I like to change things up a bit. I get bored when my schedule's the same every day. Today I decided to stay in bed, and I didn't get up until 10 AM. What is your morning routine? Well, I always wake up at 7 AM, then I make some coffee and have some toast. After that I'll brush my teeth, have a shower. Sometimes I'll have a cigarette, and then I leave the house at 8. You can see there we're adding in the adverbs of frequency. Always and sometimes and usually. They're really good for routine questions. I generally wake up at 5 AM as I am an early bird. After that I go and get my gym clothes on and go and work out. I then try to do some work, but I usually end up procrastinating. Do you ever change your routine? Yes, I usually change my routines during the weekends. In the week I like to get work done, but during the weekend I like to stay up late, and I usually go to parties. Yes, and I'm trying to change it now. I got into the habit of sleeping all day and working all night. I am a night owl, but it's bad for my health. And this question as well you can answer in the negative. No, I like to keep to my schedule and keep all the days the same. Otherwise I procrastinate. I always set time aside to do work, and it is the same time every day. No, I'm a bit set in my ways. I am an early bird, so I don't feel great if I oversleep. What are the benefits of having a routine? There are loads. I usually exercise every morning before work. It's very beneficial for me. If I didn't do my exercise in the morning, I wouldn't do any at all. There are loads. Having a routine helps me stay on track for the day. It helps me remember to brush my teeth every day, and it is great for my health to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. Maybe you don't think there's benefits of having a routine. There are some, but it's quite restrictive and boring. Why do people like to have every day the same? I like to be adventurous and see where the day takes me. I hate routines at school. It's the same thing every day. We have to eat at the same time, and because of the school buses, we even have to wake up at the same time every day. What part of the day do you like best? My favourite time of the day is around 6 PM because I've finished my work and the commute. I usually cook something to eat, put my pyjamas on, and then relax while watching TV. I'm a night owl, so I really like the late evening when everyone else has gone to bed. I generally stay up until around 2 AM because that's the most productive time of my day. I like the mornings as I'm an early bird. I enjoy the feeling of being up and about while other people are still in bed. I usually make myself a cup of coffee and catch up with the news on my phone. How has your routine changed since you were a child? Yes, when I was a child I used to have to follow my parents' or the school's routine. Now I have a little bit more flexibility in my routine. Yes, now I'm in control of my routine. I can now wake up whenever I like, and I can go to bed at midnight if I want. My mother used to make me go to bed at 9 PM, but now I can stay up as late as I want. These sample answers were all around a band 7. Please tell me your routine in the comments, or tell me your best part of the day in the comments. That's the end of the video. You can check out these videos if you want some more IELTS tips or walkthroughs, and you can also press this button here to subscribe to the channel and never miss another video. Good luck and smash those exams.